Released in 2018 alongside the Mate 20 and Mate 20 Pro, the Mate 20X is more than 5 years old. With a 7.2-inch display, the Huawei Mate 20X is one of the largest smartphones ever, and it dwarfs every phone that isn't a foldable. I've been using this phone for a long time, and in this video, I am going to tell you if it is still worth it in the upcoming year. This is the Huawei Mate 20X in 2024. When it comes to the build quality, the Mate 20X looks and feels premium and modern. That's because it is made of glass and aluminum. The glass on the back has these patterns, therefore it is very grippy. The Mate 20X is just huge, a lot bigger than the 15 Pro Max or the S23 Ultra. So, if you have small hands, you definitely can't use this device. Since I have been using this phone for a long time, it has a lot of scratches. I did also drop it many times, and luckily it didn't break. The Mate 20X is only IP53 splash resistant, so you shouldn't take it swimming. Like I said earlier, the Mate 20X has a 7.2-inch OLED display. It is only a 60Hz 1080p device, and with this giant screen size, most of the times I find the need for more pixels or for a higher refresh rate. That aside, the quality of the display is still good. It gets bright enough even though the colors aren't that vibrant. It is a good display for watching videos since it is only interrupted with a small notch, but in a display this large it is barely noticeable. Since the Mate 20X was launched before the US ban, it does support Google Apps. My unit has Android 10, which is outdated. The software overall isn't that friendly. EMUI is a lot different from stock Android and from any other Android skin out there. When it comes to the performance, the Mate 20X does feel its age. System apps still work just fine, but when playing heavy games, they take a long time to load and most of them lag quite a bit. RAM management, on the other hand, is good even though it has only 6 GB. The base storage is 128 GB, and it is enough for most of the people. If you want to extend the storage, however, you have to buy Huawei's own nano memory since regular SD cards won't fit. Since the Mate 20X was released more as a gaming device, you might think that the cameras aren't good. In contrast, the cameras on this phone are still good and reliable. It has the same triple camera setup as the Mate 20 Pro, and in daylight all of them produce great pictures. The main camera especially is still comparable with later flagships. All of its cameras support night mode, but sadly only the main camera produces great pictures. The ultra-wide camera falls behind in low light, and the telephoto camera won't be activated every time you need it. The selfie camera, on the other hand, isn't that good. Since it has a fixed focus, it is hard to take decent pictures. On low light, the front camera is almost unusable since it doesn't support night mode. Video quality does also lag behind a lot. Videos lack stabilization and the colors aren't that accurate. But since this phone is more targeted for gamers, would say that the cameras are still more than enough. The Mate 20X comes with stereo speakers. The speakers of this device are very loud since it has dedicated grills in both sides, so it doesn't use the earpiece. On its loudest volume, however, sound quality isn't that clear. When it comes to the battery life in 2024, the Mate 20X isn't as good. With its 5000 mAh battery capacity at launch, this phone was a 2-day device. Now, however, the battery has degraded and the battery doesn't even last me a full day with a single charge. Since many phones nowadays have a 5000 mAh battery, this device isn't as unique as before, where other phones had batteries under 4000 mAh. Charging isn't as fast since it only supports 22 watts. It doesn't support wireless charging, but I never found a need to charge it wirelessly. The Mate 20X has a fingerprint scanner on the back. This fingerprint scanner is very fast and very reliable. Every time I unlock this phone using the fingerprint scanner, I am always reminded how much faster physical scanners were compared to in-display ones. It does also support face unlock, which is extremely fast too. So, is the Mate 20X still worth it in 2024? If you are a gamer and you have a tight budget, I would say yes, but for anyone else, no. This is a phone with a great build quality, reliable cameras, acceptable display, and great battery life. If you want a gaming phone and you have a high budget, I would say look for other phones that are released later. Non-gamers however definitely shouldn't buy this device since it is way too big to use. I do however still love this phone and I will keep it as long as it holds. The sad part is that it still doesn't have a successor, so it is kind of unique. If you are an owner of the Mate 20X, feel free to share your experience in the comments section below. If you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching.